moist inside her immaculate gloves, and her throat was dry and hurt a little. She kept shifting uneasily from one neatly shod foot to the other, and a small, anxious voice inside her kept crying with the persistence of a babe in the wilderness. What if he doesn't come? What if he doesn't come? If only a taxi would make its appearance round the bend in the drive. If only Timothy R. Carrington would arrive to collect his ward. It seemed so much worse now that all the others had gone, so many of them borne away from Selborne for good. Janet Aintree was on her way to a new life, like at least a dozen other girls for whom this closing summer term had been like a signpost pointing away to the future. Youth behind, maturity ahead. Security behind, a very large question mark indicating the possibilities in store. And Carol had been as thrilled as the rest by the prospect of breaking away from her school days, for, after all, she was 18 now. Actually, close upon 18 and a half, although by a special arrangement with Miss Hardcastle, she had stayed on at Selborne instead of being one of the lucky ones who had been released from the nest at Christmas. And her biggest dread, until a fortnight ago, had been that she would celebrate her 19th birthday within the cloistered precincts, and that would have been a humiliation almost too great to be borne. For whoever heard of a 19-year-old schoolgirl? And then had come Timothy Carrington's letter. Carol sat down suddenly on one of her suitcases, and although she did not realise it, she looked considerably younger than her 18.5 years, and more than a little forlorn. For one thing, the trim little tailored suit she was wearing, which had been bought specially for the occasion, not under the auspices of Mademoiselle, but a dour Scots drawing mistress, was a very unimaginative teenager suit, and her soft felt hat of a delicate and pearly grey, which exactly matched her anxious eyes, was perched rather far back on her short, fair curls. The feathery ends of the curls themselves were being blown gently about by a vagrant breeze. She had the unaccustomed taste of lipstick in her mouth, having used it that day for the first time to outline her most attractive feature, soft, serious lips, and the light dust of powder she had applied to her cheeks had been dispersed to the winds long since. And something that persisted in trembling on the edge of her lashes was about to spill over and roll down her cheeks. She brushed it away impatiently, thereby soiling her new suede gloves. After all, it was quite possible that her guardian had been delayed. He had had a long journey by air from Africa, and had probably needed a few days in London to attend to his own affairs. Affairs did get out of hand when you spent much of your life abroad. There were bank managers and people like that to be interviewed, almost certainly a tailor to be visited, perhaps a few friends and relations with a prior claim upon him, people to be visited whom he had not seen for years, telephone calls to be dealt with. She felt a little odd when it was suddenly borne in upon her how little she knew about Timothy Carrington. Just his name, and the fact that he had handled her affairs since her father had died so disastrously 8 years before, and his signature on a Christmas card, and once only on a birthday card. And once he had sent her a queer kind of Eastern idol as a present, and a bottle of exciting perfume. And presumably he had corresponded occasionally with Miss Hardcastle, and settled such all-important matters as fees, clothing, and pocket-money accounts, etc., and arranged to call for her this afternoon, and remove her from Miss Hardcastle's care for good. She started suddenly, and leaned eagerly forward, all but overbalancing on her suitcase. A taxi had appeared suddenly in the driveway, approaching the house at a considerable speed, the driver having obviously received instructions to hurry. It skirted the bed of flaming geraniums outside the head study window, rounded the